A very good day to each as well. My name is SHASHWINI Ravi with my tick number 012221L1016. Today, my team members and me will present you the problem-based task of cybersecurity incident response. Here are the problem 1. For 1, the question has asked us to suggest 8 assets. For each asset, we should identify 4 threats, and for each threat, we should state 1 vulnerability. Following of that, we have to state the priority of the asset in the company. And lastly, we have to suggest the switchover security controls for the vulnerabilities with higher security impact. Let's see on the answers. This one is server. The threat for server are attacks. It gain and authorized access to sensitive information. Second one, physical threat. Theft, vandalism, fire, flood, or nature disaster are known as physical threat. Third, lack of updates. Threat to software update and security patch can lead to server vulnerable. The last threat is poor access control. Implement access control are poor, which can allow unauthorized user to gain access to server. The vulnerabilities. First of all, operating system vulnerability. Operating system like Windows or Linux, which are often used by server, might contain security holes that an hacker can use against them. These holes may be present in the network protocols, the authentication mechanism, or file permission. Secondly, social engineering attacks. Attackers may use strategies like phishing emails, retesting, or baiting to try to convince server administrator to develop conventional data or provide access to the server. Thirdly, software vulnerabilities. Numerous server run programs like web server, email server, or database servers, all of which may be vulnerable. These faults might provide attackers unauthorized access to confidential data or let them run unfiltered on the system. And the last one, configuration vulnerabilities. Server with poor configuration might expose security holes that attackers can take advantage of. Inadequate access restriction, open network ports, and weak password are a few examples of setup faults. Of the server is high. Let's see on the controls for the vulnerabilities. First of all, monitor server activity. Monitor server logs and other activities often to look for any strange activity or possible threat. Secondly, use detection system. Systems for detecting and preventing infections can quickly identify and stop impending attacks. Thirdly, keep software up to date. One of the best methods to manage vulnerability is to keep firmware, operating system, and software updated. And security patches and bug fixes that resolve known vulnerabilities are frequently included in updates. Fourthly, use strong access control. Put in place a robust access restriction to provide only authorized users access to your server. Role-based access control, two-factor authentication, and password policies are a few examples of this. The next asset is computer. The threats are malware. It can infect a computer system and cause damage, data loss, and theft. Second one is phishing. It reveals sensitive information such as login credentials. Thirdly, physical threat. It can be lost together with data in case of computer loss. And fourth, denial of service, which is known as DDoS attacks. Overwhelming a computer system with traffic, it can lead to a lose productivity and revenue and also create a destruction attack. Okay. The vulnerabilities. First of all, malware infection. Virus, Trojan horse, and ransomware are examples of malware that may infect a computer and provide hackers access to conventional data or command over the machine. Second one, social engineering attacks. Attackers may try to trick user into providing sensitive information. Thirdly, weak password. Weak passwords are simple to guess or break, giving hackers access to a computer. Fourthly, resource exhaustion. Attackers may submit many requests, resources like CPU time, RAM, or disk space, which will slow or crash the machine. Priority of computer is high. For the vulnerabilities are, first of all, use antivirus software. Malicious software that could take advantage of vulnerabilities can be found and eliminated by antivirus software. Make sure to periodically check your computer for viruses and maintain your antivirus software up to date. Disable unnecessary services. Computers attack surface may be decreased by disabling unused services and protocols, which make it more difficult for hackers to exploit security holes. Do regular backup. The very simple important thing. Okay, you can recover from a security event or hardware failure by regularly backing up your data. Backs should be kept in a secure location for a safety purpose. Okay. The last one, those mitigation service. Organization can employ specialized service that offer real-time monitoring and those attack mitigation. Third asset is rotor. The threat. First 1. Router exploit. Vulnerabilities in router firmware that can be exploited by attackers to gain unauthorized access, compromise devices on the network, and steal sensitive information. Second one, firmware updates. Fail to update router firmware can increase risks of a security breach. Third one, malware. Malware can infect routers, can enforce damage, data loss, theft, and gain unauthorized access. And the last one, DNS spoofing. Redirecting network traffic to a malicious server, which can be used to intercept sensitive information or redirect user to fake websites. The vulnerabilities. First of all, default login credential. The default login information provided by many routers is well known and may be quickly abused by hackers. Secondly, updated firmware. Attackers may be able to take advantage of vulnerabilities in outdated firmware to obtain unauthorized access to or control of the router. Thirdly, unsecure management interface. Insecure or unencrypted administration interface of routers, including HTTP, HTTPS, or SSH, make it possible for hackers to eavesdrop on traffic or steal login information. Lastly, DNS injection. Attackers can inject domain and system settings. The priority of router is high. The controls for the vulnerabilities are: firstly, change default login credential. To avoid unauthorized access, users should update the default login information to strong and unique password. Moreover, keep firmware up to date. Regularly update their router's firmware to patch vulnerabilities. Furthermore, enable secure management. Use secure protocols such as HTTPS or SSH to increase management traffic. And last but not least, configure DNS settings. Users should change their router's DNS configuration to utilize trustworthy DNS server, and if available, use DNSSEC for more secure routing. So that's all from my part. Next.
Thank you, SHASHWINI. Now, the first one is malware. When inserted into other devices, malware from infected USB drive may spread to those other machines. Malware may include worms, Trojan horses, and viruses. The next one is data theft. Sensitive data can be copied from a system and sent to another computer using USB devices, which can be exploited to steal the data. The third one is social engineering. USB drive can be used in social engineering attacks, where an attack sends a USB drive to a victim as part of a phishing scam or leaves on in public location. The last one for USB drive is physical theft. Any data stored on a USB device can be physically stolen, giving the assailant access to it. So, the vulnerability for the malware USB drive is auto-run malware. When a USB drive is connected into a computer, the auto-run features on many of them immediately launch scripts or programs. The vulnerability for data theft is just due to their portability and tiny size, USB drive are simple to steal. The vulnerability to happen social engineering is malicious software. Using malicious software, Trojan viruses that are set up to activate as soon as the device is attached into a computer. The vulnerability for physical theft is an external hard drive or flash drive that carries private information or malware is stored in this kind of attack. So the priority is high. Here are some controls. The first one is install a good antivirus software on the computer to scan the USB drive and detect malware. Then use encryption to secure the USB drive, which can prevent unauthorized access to the data. The third one is activate USB drive protection to prevent viruses from being unintentionally installed on your USB drive. The last control for USB drive trace are: avoid using unidentified USB devices as unidentified. Increase the chance of malware infection. Then now, the next action is printers. The trick for printers: first one is printer-based attacks. This result use holes in the printer firmware or software to access the devices or the network to which it is attached. The next one is physical security threats. It is crucial to physically secure the printer since it may store sensitive information on its hard drive or in its memory. The third one, which is print job interceptions, which is attackers have the ability to intercept print jobs and steal confidential data that is being printed. The next one is print job manipulations. Attacker can change print jobs to add malicious code or change the printed document contents. The vulnerability for the first one, which is printer-based attacks, is just attackers who are motivated by social issues try to attract attention in order to have an unfair edge over the competitors. The vulnerability for physical security threats is they put all of the security measures such as cameras and security personnel at the entrance, but they neglect to consider the entire building as a whole. The printer as insufficient permission is the vulnerability of print job interceptions. The network and the data are accessible to cyber criminals when a printer is left unattended is the vulnerability of print job manipulations. The priority is low. The controls are: make sure printers and software are up to date with the most recent firmware and software patches to avoid the exploitations of known vulnerabilities. Make sure each printer has a secure password and use multi-factor authentication. Disable any unwanted unnecessary printer functions such as telnet or FTP, which can be abused by attackers. For early detection of potential attacks, keep an eye out for strange behavior in printer locks and activity. That's all from me. Next, THILASINI will explain the further.
Hello, my name is Tilashini. Particular memory number is 018821F1057. Okay, the next asset is CCTV. Okay, the threat is hacking. CCTV systems are susceptible to hacking, which enables unauthorized users to view live or previously recorded footage. The next threat is cybersecurity threats. Due to their frequent internet connectivity, CCTV systems are susceptible to malware and ransomware assaults. Next, the threat is misuse of footage. Sometimes this will happen frequently. Those with access to CCTV footage, such as security guards or law enforcement officers, may abuse it. Lastly, the threat is false sense of security. CCTV cameras usually may give people a false sense of security, making them think they are protected and they are safe from criminal activity. Okay. Next, the vulnerability. The first vulnerability is the default usernames and passwords that come with CCTV systems are frequently simple to guess. This thing actually can provide hackers access to the system without authorization easily. Next, the vulnerability is cyber criminals may use insecure networks with improper segmentation, encryption, or access rules to access critical information from the CCTV, like CCTV footages. Then, next, it is also possible to edit and distort the video in order to fabricate a story or display the facts incorrectly. This might be done to discredit someone, disseminate untrue information, or further a specific objective. Lastly, a false sense of security can cause complacency, which can result in people or organizations not taking the essential security safeguards or procedure. The priority for this asset, which is CCTV, is medium, not high, either low. Okay. To control this vulnerability and this threat of this asset, the control is to prevent unauthorized access to this system. To prevent this, we have to replace the default usernames and passwords with strong ones that are both unique and complex. Second, to safeguard the network and data of the organization, we have to use network segmentation, encryption, and access controls. And for the footage, we have to keep the footage in a safe place and only let individuals you trust to access it, like someone you trust in the company. Lastly, we have to review and update security measures frequently to make sure they continue to be effective against new threats. Next asset I will be presenting is software. Okay, the threats we can find in software is cyber attacks. So, cyber attacks is like hacking, malware, and ransomware assaults are examples of cyber attacks that can risk the security of software and the information it stores. These cyber attacks can make the information in the software delete automatically. Okay, then the second threat is data breaches. Hackers looking to steal or compromise such data might target the software if it stores sensitive data such as client information, financial records, or significant financial losses and reputational harm to the business can result from these data breaches. Okay. The third threat, this malware refers to malicious code that is intended to interfere or destroy with computer system, steals data or gain access to private information, and risks system security. Last threat is spyware. This kind of software is installed without the user's knowledge or consent and gather all the information about their online actions, including login information, browsing history, personal information, keystrokes, and more. Okay. The vulnerability of this asset is first thing is outdated software. This outdated software can known as a security flaws that an attacker could use to access the system. Then the vulnerability is attackers may use weak or obvious passwords to get unauthorized access to databases or systems that hold sensitive information. Obvious password is, for example, Bluetooth in the car. Normally they require a password which is 0000 or 1234. So, this is known as obvious password. Third vulnerability is weak passwords and insecure networks are example of inadequate security measures that can lead to weaknesses that malware can take advantage of. Lastly, the vulnerability is software downloaded from unknown sources has the potential to inject virus onto the system. Unknown sources like the website is not secure, but you download the software from the website. Okay, the priority of this asset, which is software, is high, very high to get a malware. Okay. The controls for this vulnerability of this asset is do a regular software updates and security patches. So as soon as they are available. This is to fix known security flaws and defend against possible attacks like cyber attacks. Okay. Next, password guessing can be made more challenging by enforcing strict password regulations like uppercase, lowercase, numeric that demand users establish lengthy passwords and update the password frequently, like for once in 2 weeks like that. Okay. The third control is the installation of firewalls can assist in limiting the propagation of viruses and preventing unauthorized access to the network. Lastly, all systems should have anti-malware software installed, like antivirus, like firewall, and it should be updated regularly to help find and get rid of spyware problems. Okay. Next, next asset is projector. Okay. Projector. The threat of this projector is unauthorized access. The main threat is unauthorized access. The projector may be exposed to unauthorized access if it lacks adequate security, which this can lead to the projector being utilized by unauthorized person or uninvited parties or the theft of data and information. Second threat is malware. Malware and viruses that disrupt the projector's operation or steal data and information can damage projectors that run on a software. Third threat is theft. If the projector is stolen, there could be a financial loss to a company as well as the loss of any information and sensitive data that was stored on it. Projector is also expensive, then it can lead to a financial loss to a company. Threat is hacking. A hacker could steal data or get unauthorized access to the projector setting or content if a projector is connected to the internet or another network. The vulnerability of this asset is no proper authorization. This can result in the unauthorized use of or control of the device. Second vulnerability is weak passwords that are simple to guess or crack can provide attackers access to a system or network without authorization, which can result in the installation of malware. Vulnerability when sensitive data is not encrypted, this may be simpler or easier for the hackers to steal the information or data as it moves through a network. Lastly, the vulnerability is attackers may use unpatched software with known flaws to get unauthorized access to system or network of the company. Okay. The priority for this asset is low, not high, either medium. Okay. To the control, the company have to implement access controls to make sure that only authorized users, such as the company workers, employees, can access the device or network, such as user authentication and authorization systems. Next, strong password policies. The company should apply the strong password policies and multi-factor authentication for this project. Third one, we have to use encryption technologies to secure sensitive data while it is being transmitted or updated. Lastly, the control is update and patch software often to fix known flaws and disadvantages and lower the chance of attacker exploitation. Actually, on problem number 2, here are the statement for problem number 3. For problem 2, we have to state 8 errors. For each error, we have to state who might be out and how. Is what we're already doing, but the further action is necessary. Action by whom, action by when, and is it done or ever? Let's see the answer. The first asset is workload asset. The employee might be out. How? Okay, mental health issues, overwork, and stress can express mental health problems such as anxiety, depression, and other stress-related disorders. What we are already doing? Promote work-life balance. Encourage workers to prioritize their personal and family time outside of work, take a break, and utilize their vacation time. We said that overtime work is limited, such as only 4 hours extra can count as overtime. Sources is the action. The further action is necessary. The resource and tools they need, such as support people, equipment, or training to assist employees manage their tasks more efficiently. Action will be taken by the manager as the company organization system is under them. This action is done by last year. The next asset is safety asset. Office workers might be out. Every office workers is necessary to put basic. So from that, it might be needle-stick injuries, exposed to infection, disease, and violence. For that, we already doing regular checkups for employees. Employee must go to checkup 6 months once under company responsibility. For further action, we are provide healthy food at the company kitchen. It can help employees make better food choice and improve their improve their overall health. Action will be taken by the employee and is already started by last month, while it is still in process. The third asset is ergonomic asset. Office workers might be out. How? For workers who spend long hours sitting in front of computer, maybe can have poor posture, repetitive state injuries such as carpal tunnel syndrome, neck, back pain, and eye strain. We already provide a vacant room. The room will be provided with facilities such as sofa, air conditioner, television, and workout equipment. And we improve working conditions for the further action. Keep ensuring that the workplace is safe and comfortable with good ventilation, appropriate lighting, and ergonomic equipment to prevent physical strain. Action will be taken by the manager. It's done by last year. So for program number 2, this is my part. Next will be continued by SIVANEKA. Thank you.
Thank you, Shashwini. Now I continue with the next asset. Who might be harmed and how? The employee will be harmed and how? Employees who are exposed to hazardous working circumstances or extreme weather, long periods of time spent working outside in the sun can expose workers to physical risks that could have a long-term negative impact on their health. What are you already doing is supplying employees with security equipment that lessens their exposure to the physical safety dangers. What further action is necessary is allowing workers to take breaks away from the physical dangers and teaching workers how to identify and avoid physical dangers. Action taken by the engineering control department of the company. Action taken by last month, and the process in the progress. The next one, which is electrical asset. The employees will be harmed. This can include burn, shocks, and other wounds brought on by coming into contact with leaf, electrical lines, or poorly grounded equipment. The action that already done is ensure that workstation is equipped with safe electrical devices which are developed, approved, and in good working condition for the intended usage. The further action is employees should get training on safe electrical work practices, including appropriate grounding, lockout procedures, and PPE usage. Action taken by employers. The employees are responsible for ensuring that their employees operate in a safe environment. Action taken last month, and the action is done. Next, THILASINI will be explained the further asset.
Next asset is radiation assets. So who might be harmed and how they will be harmed is who might be harmed is employee. Due to their close contact to radiation sources at work, these people are at danger of radiation exposure. Okay. Next, what you are already doing is this can involve setting time limits on exposure, keeping an eye on exposure levels, and putting policies in place to guarantee that the exposure is maintained to a minimum. Okay. Next, further actions which is necessary is employees who are exposed to radiation should receive a routine medical monitoring to identify any potential health impacts. So this action should be taken by the employee. This action should be taken by last month, and it is still in progress. Okay. Then the next hazard is fire hazard. employees might be harmed in this hazard. Employees, especially those who work in high-risk industries for fire, may be at danger of harm from workplace fires or explosions. Okay, then what you are already doing. Okay, this can involve instructing staff members on appropriate fire safety measures, evacuation strategies, and how to use fire safety gear. Okay, then further action is managers must evaluate the risk of workplace fires and take the necessary precautions to lower the risk to the employees. These actions should be taken by the managers. This action should be done by last year, and it is done now. Okay. Last hazard is structural hazards. Okay. This hazard can be harm to employees. Employees may be in danger if they work in locations where there is a chance of structural collapse, such as close to construction sites or outdated structures. Okay. Then what we are already doing is this can involve erecting physical barriers to keep people or employees out of potentially dangerous areas and displaying warning signs to limit access to them for employees. Okay. Um, Further actions which is necessary is managers should also create a safety plan that specifies on how to avoid and deal with structural hazard. This action should be taken and this action should be taken last month, and this action is still in progress. That's all from us. Thank you.